Anis, welcome to the D2 channel. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure to be on your podcast or with the recordings you are doing with the artist industry. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. I was having a conversation a few days ago with a friend of mine who you also know. I'm not gonna say who that is because I want to make sure that there is a surprise every time that we release a new
Yeah,
video. Um, but anyway, I'm very happy to have you here. I love when people create content and they try to move the whole archivist and digital design industry forward. I would like to ask you to start out this interview. How did you get started in Archivist and how did you make the shift to the side of consulting in Archivist?
yeah. So I was studying architecture in Syria. I started 2001. Then I learned 3D Max. It was like I think 3ds Studio somehow at that time. 2003, one of my teachers asked me to do 3D visualization for money. I had got paid at that time, literally. That was my first job. It was like 300 per image. It was enough for me to live literally 3 months. I mean, paying rent and all of that. After that, I said, yeah, amazing. This is a quick money. I did it with pleasure. It's like not like doing architecture. Gradually, I stayed working with him, and we worked with another civil engineer, which is like who are civil engineer. They had an office, and we were making the designs and the 3D visualization, and they were making the structure. So until I graduated, then I said, you know what? It is already running. Okay, I don't need to be an architect or a full-time architect. And in Syria at that time, I come from a coastal area, a small city on the coast. Then I said, okay, let's move to the capital, Damascus. I went there, started working on my own, opened a studio. And in 2008, I went to China. In China, something has happened. Okay, we can speak about it later. And that thing has opened my mind about my missing skills. You see, like I always thought, great. 300, I got it in the beginning, but like I cannot maintain it. I also don't have, I don't have always this great flow of projects. I cannot always go up in the price. So I need to change the clients, projects. What should I change? I don't know. And yeah, at that time, it was not the option that you always look online. There was only Facebook, Instagram. It wasn't like this heavy on blogging or maybe online. Then I started looking into my skills of how to reach out to people, how to talk to them. And then one of my friends, he said, "Oh, Anis, you need to look into business development." And I said, "Okay, let's look into business development." Then step by step, trying to reach out one book, this book, that book. Until 2013, I moved to Lebanon. I stayed there for 3 years. And like in my community, I am an Arabic guy. See, no one is going to come to you and say, "Hey, I want your help. Okay, I will pay you this." They will just say, "Hey, man, what do you have today tonight? Nothing. Okay, I will come by. I have a problem. You need to solve it. That's it." So I moved to Germany. I was a tourist, okay, here, and then I moved my residency. I applied for asylum. Then they refused it. Like until they refused it, I was already an architect. I was already having a job, an address, and everything. And I discovered that what I was doing for free for my friends, that was something people pay for. See, I was a little bit shocked, you see. And someone said, "You are a coach." Someone said, "You are a consultant." Then I looked into the subject. In 2016, I registered my company as a small company. It was consulting, only business consulting. I didn't really know exactly how it will be, all of that. But like in Germany, you cannot just get paid for nothing, just like between friends. I mean, I went through the days doing ArcViz plus consulting. It was not really coaching, it was just one-off advice. 2018 was my last 3D visualization that I have made. I couldn't really maintain the two of them. You see, I mean, somehow it felt like unnatural to do the job to my clients. Also, I am working with other clients. I know more about their clients. It was not really somehow out of being loyal to my clients. So I said, okay, cool. I love the consulting more than doing the 3D because of one big reason, which is I don't like being on my own, alone, 10 days just doing one image. Okay, see, and then I will be surprised with 3D Max crashing down. And yeah, that was really my start. Until 2020, that was the boom online. I see everyone lost their job, their clients, all of that. Then yeah, I moved more online than local.
Okay, and so basically, this is when I guess your activities really started to take off, if I don't mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the beginning. Are you still here?
Yeah, 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 sure, sure.
Right. Yeah, so 2020, um, I kicked off my business online on LinkedIn. I mean, I am on LinkedIn since 2011, but like it wasn't really for me as a place where you can reach out to people. I'm somehow more traditional guy. I would like to meet people, call them, send them something in the mail rather than just sending a social media message.
Okay, I get it. Then let me ask you, how does your day to day looks like when you get hired to help people with consulting services?
Um, so the typical service I do with, let's say, an ArcViz studio or maybe a freelancer somehow, um, like we always have one weekly meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this meeting is more about checking what's going on. Okay, if there is any problem, we need to discuss it for a long time. And we have three parts for the meeting. The first part is successes. What went well last week? Did we get new projects or new clients? The second part is challenges. Okay, what's going on? We didn't really hear from that client. What should we do now? The third part is to dos. Okay, what should we do next? And those to dos could be on my side and on the client side. This is the meeting, weekly meeting, tracking everything what has happened. We track revenue, profit, um, new deals, new requests for quotations. I mean, new deals won, then new requests for quotations. Then we get new connections or new potential clients, new contacts. In between, we stay on a daily basis talking. It could happen three times a day. Okay, through WhatsApp or Telegram. We have one of both channels, and those conversations, I see that it's very important just to keep the other side in the loop. See, like they see that there is someone on their side to help them in the moment. You know, like in our industry, a company they need a 3D visualization for a project. They will send the same brief for five projects for five studios. So it's important to react in the right way in very short time. See, and yeah, that's exactly how I do it with other people. So my day to day, I have meetings, talking, chats. And meetings could be with existing clients or maybe for people who would like to know more about my service or meet me online. Yeah, see.
Okay, so let's get to the meat and potato of the whole how to get clients, how to get better projects. Uh, for somebody who is just starting out and they're thinking to build their client base, what would be your main tip? How do you start creating a client database?
Cool. So the first step is to define a client. If I would say, if someone is saying, I do city visualization, okay, it means for me nothing. So we need to define what type of city visualization they are doing and who is really getting it. So someone is working for a developer is different than someone who is working for interior designer. And someone who is like more into aerial images is not the same guy who is doing interior images for small bars. Although we are still using the same skill, but the client is different, you see, and the scale and type of conversations are like of terms the client will talk about is different. So yeah, that's going to be the first step. What type of 3D visualization you do, or architectural illustration you do, and who you would like to talk with. You see, it's very important. I mean, in our industry, everyone is scared just being specific. You see,
And also, I think that, well, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but also artists, generally speaking, are actually afraid to talk to any client. They just want to say, this
that's
is my portfolio, look how good I am. Clients, please come to me.
100%. I mean, what you said is literally after I define those people, I tell or the other side, freelancer or the artist should talk to as many people as they can. Okay, I mean, without talking, there will be no project.
Yeah.
And talking, it means it could be a message, it could be a call or a meeting in person.
And so, okay, so to be more practical, you have defined the type of client that you want to work with. What's the next step? Do you pick up the phone? Do you send them a message via social media, emails? What would your approach be?
Yeah, so we are talking about a brand new artist. They
Yeah,
have zero clients. Yeah.
zero clients and they want to start out.
Yeah. So here I would refer back to one of your episodes on your channel. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to build something from zero. Already have set up the scene for everyone who would like to get the clients. You see, you have already talked a lot about it. Actually, anyone who is having a problem, they should go and watch your videos. Okay.
It's
I
not
mean,
that
literally, I'm
simple.
not
It's
kidding.
not that simple, but okay, thank you for the compliment.
I mean, I'm not kidding. I mean, always when I have someone telling me, I need your service, I will start with this one question. What did you do before? Okay. They will say, I had done nothing. Okay, my friend, you will see my service very expensive if you done nothing. I did one, two, three. Okay. Did you watch Fabio's videos? No. Okay, my friend, go. Maybe you might find something. So I will get back to your episode once in that episode you were not in the studio, okay, you were traveling and you were in the hotel and you said, I have a question, someone asked me, I was an employee and now I am on my own, I need to get a new job, I don't know how, what are your recommendations? That's what that was the question, more or less, somehow. And you said, well, you need to look back into your relationships. Okay. You might have burned some bridges. You see, that was exactly your words, right? And that's exactly the thing they will start doing. So the first thing is we start with our network. Okay. Friends, family, my aunt, my uncle. I will tell everyone I know, okay, about my ideal client or my future client. In that case, let's make a virtual, I mean, and let's assume that this artist is working for interior designers who are doing um, only restaurants. Okay. Um, I will go to everyone I know. I will say, hey, look, I would love to work on city visualizations for restaurants. Do you know anyone who is doing restaurants? They could really know a project manager. They could really know an interior designer, or they could be really know a developer who is developing a restaurant. They could really know someone that has really no certificates, but they just have money. Okay. And they are looking for new projects. This could be also developed into a project. Um, so this is back to your tip. Okay. Look back into your relationships. Okay. And see, I mean, like thinking about relationships is more about what did I do before so people can get back to me, or what should I do in the future so people really remember me. And being beneficial for my network is number one step. So that was good. That's going to be step number one. Step number two, in case this does not really work, um, I will start with people who might know my people. See, at least there should be something in between. See, I mean, just going completely cold, it's going to be very hard, especially in artists. They are really, if they get two no's, they will. I'm not so going to say they will cry. Yeah, no one is going to cry, but like their feelings will be hurt, right? So there must be someone in between. Hey, Fabio, I met this guy. Do you know him? Yes, who is talking? Oh, yeah, I'm Anis. I'm the friend of that guy. Yeah, okay. What do you want? Well, I'm looking to start a relationship with you. Cool. What type of relationship? I don't have time now. No worries. When do you have time? Let's talk. Okay. So you see, there is like a starting point for the conversation. In case they are in the desert, they have no relatives, no network, no one who might know their network. Yeah, go online on Google. Okay, define a city, especially I mean a city, not like any city. And defining the city is also a job. Let's assume they know exactly. They already know a city where people are building more restaurants and trying to call those people. Okay, if I'm looking to visualize restaurants, I will call restaurants. Who is the interior designer who made that job for you? You see, backwards. Or maybe I just call the interior designers. Okay, I see on the website they are doing restaurants. I will call them. Like literally, even if they are not open to talking, it's okay. I mean, yeah,
I think it's
conversation.
I
Yeah.
think it's important for artists to remember that when you know how to do something, it doesn't mean that this is enough for you to start a business. This is part of running your business, knowing how to do beautiful images, but eventually communication as one of the things, it's probably an even more important skill. And we're gonna get a little bit of backlash and hate from artists that are going to hear this. But the problem is that if nobody knows that you're doing this, even if your portfolio is great, you can always be replaced by somebody that knows how to do things a little less better than you. But because people know that they are doing the things that they do, they're always going to be chosen over those who are not talking to other people. And that's because not because the way we look at the work that we do, it's very personal. Clients, they don't see things in the same way. Clients, they just want to the clients, they go about their day having problems, and so they want somebody that shows up at their doors and say, hey, I'm here to solve a problem. Artists, when we talk about problems, they say, yeah, but we make images, we don't solve problems. I'm like, well, if your client doesn't have an image, that's a problem. And so
Yeah.
they need to solve a problem. And so I think it's all a question of like reframing the understanding that we have of the work that we do, that it's not enough to have a good portfolio, you need to be in front of everybody. And another thing is that we cannot expect to call somebody and say, hey, I want to do this. Okay, tomorrow show up and you'll do the images. It might take sometimes 2, 3, 4 months for people to have a project, and then they come back. And this is usually referred to as farming. You have to plant a seed and you have to wait for that to happen. And I want to say this stuff simply because I don't want to discourage people to say, yeah, but I looked for clients and I never found them. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get those clients. And that's why I think it's a very important thing when you start a visualization business, especially if you're on your own, that you don't do it starting out full time, especially if you don't have a client. You should do it part time whilst keeping a job, because
Yeah.
the job will give you the money to get to the next stage when the client will have a project, and then another client will have a project. And but
Yeah.
sometimes I do feel like artists, they get offended by that because they're like, no, 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 I'm good.
Yeah. Let me remind you with something also. You said somewhere, I don't really remember exactly when, okay? You might have received a question or someone said in the meeting, I do great images, okay? Everyone really like them, but like I'm not getting clients. And then you said one sentence. I laughed about it, but like, I mean, I laughed because it's really true. I mean, no one really understand that having images is just the entry level. I
Yeah,
mean, great images is just the entry level.
yeah,
I mean, it doesn't mean that I do great images. I just post them online and I will get projects. Yeah, that was the case in 2013,
yeah,
10, 12, when there was no one. Okay.
yeah,
But like now, the market is overserved. You see, there are really a lot of 3D artists, especially online. Like if I am in the US or even in Germany, and I have something I need to visualize, um, what is the advantage I need to get from someone who is in my city in Germany, and I need to pay them 2,000 euros for one rendering, for example, compared to someone in Syria? Okay, let's talk about. I mean, I was there. I am on the both sides. You see, I see the prices here and there. So what is the advantage? Okay, why should I hire this guy, not that guy? Okay, so in this way, people, I mean, for leading from this point, we are going to the second point, which is, sorry, the third point, which is like, what is really unique about my service that people will choose me on others? You see, and everyone is just doing 3D visualization, architectural visualization. There is nothing specific. And to your point, you are completely right. I mean, in our industry, things does not really um, come fast. You see, I mean, to understand it better, we need to put ourselves into the shoes of the client. So, if I am an architect, let's say, yeah, let's keep it an architect. Um, I need to start the project, collect information. I need to talk to the client. They need to agree. We need to make the concept. I'm not even ready to hire someone. Okay, I might do it myself. Let's talk about another developer. The developer, they need to see if the architect provided the blueprints, they are ready. They need to see the financial situation. There are many aspects to the project, and until they are in a point to come to you, it takes time. And they sometimes they try to schedule that with you later. It's good, but like it doesn't really come fast. You need to nurture until you farm.
let me ask you another thing. Say that a client comes in and you want to make sure that you do a great job. What's the best way to communicate and to understand exactly what it is that the client is doing? And what are some of the ways that you can go the extra mile for that client without killing yourself, without doing too much work for free? What are some of the ways that you think are important to add additional value to the work that you can provide for one of your clients so that they say, okay, this guy is really good. I'll come back next time that I have a project.
Cool. Um, there is no one answer for that. Okay, but I do it. I mean, all my clients do it in the same way, which is the best way to ask Susie out. Okay, is to ask her, "Would you like to go out?" Yes. Would you like to eat? Yes. What would you like to eat? You see? So ask the client, okay, I'm doing this for you. Is there anything I can do for you that will make your life easier? They will say, yeah, maybe you can do this and that. Oh, amazing. Let's do it. I'm happy to do it. Like, of course, you need to see if this is makes sense to you. I mean, if you would like to do it, I'm happy to do it for a reduced price in this way. Okay, great. I mean, even the pricing thing is also another thing, another I would say topic. So in order to be valuable, is literally it is the best way is to ask the client, what would you like to get? What else would you like to get from me in order to make your life easier? Some people, um, some people really decline. They value the time. Okay, being quick with the deliveries. Okay, or the first drafts. Some people really don't care about the time, they just care about the quality. Some people really care about your view about the end client. You see, if you are working with um, a developer, it helps to ask them who is the really the target buyer. Is it like a new families or established families, or is it like people who are already in who are retired, okay, are looking to buy small homes for their sons or say their daughters. Like having this image, I mean, ask them who is the target client. It will influence the atmosphere of the image. It will influence the people inside the image, and it helps to explain that to the client. They will see that, yeah, it makes sense. This guy is really inside my head, and this is one of the ways.
Okay, and let's move a little bit forward because uh, it's a little bit difficult, to have a linear conversation about this because business, it's a lot of things that are happening and you need to be able to
Mhm.
change and adapt very quickly. But say that you do a good project for a client and then you don't hear anymore from that client and you're like, I thought I did a very good project. What are some of the things that you can do to sort of like bring back that client to you?
Call them. So, like, I will tell you one thing. In 2 years before, an artist came to me and they said they were a group of artists. They said we were doing very good. I mean, at the moment we have only one client, and they said, "How many clients did you have before?" And they said we had 7 clients. They were always coming. Now we have one. That's very weird. You see, there is something that has happened that made those clients go away. So I told them, "Do you know the reason why they are not coming back?" They said, "No." Did you ask them? No. Okay, ask them. So they went back to those clients, and all of them confirmed that the price is too high. Okay, cool. Now we are talking about the price. Okay, let's discuss the price. Okay, this price includes all of that. We can give you a reduced price for maybe something that fits more your needs in the time frame you are looking for. And just having this conversation, literally, they brought everyone back. And it was not difficult because the quality was really good. Yeah, somehow calling
I,
them. And
I,
another thing is, I would like to say, if we get to the point where, I mean, they are asking themselves why this guy is not coming back, it is a very quick sign to know they have no marketing. See, if you have, if you already have a base, client base, starting from 3 clients or even one client, you always need to nurture them. And this could happen either by a printed portfolio every now and then, printed newsletter, nothing online. Okay. Um, Posting daily is also a healthy sign because people will see you. Even if they won't really read what you are doing, they will see you are still alive. You see?
I think that this is also an issue that people forget to tackle is that communication, it's not only pre-sale, it's also post-sale. And so you would have to think of like, okay, what do I do to get the client? Next step is, what do I do to keep a client? And again, I don't think that there is anything wrong. It's just that, sometimes people forget that, they worked with you. It can happen, it can happen that it's like you go to a restaurant that you love and you're like, oh my God, I really loved eating at that place. But then, somehow you go and find a new restaurant or a place that is closer to your home, and you forget to go back there. It doesn't mean that you don't want to go there or that you don't want to spend maybe the money that you spend there. It just means that, it's out of sight, out of heart, right? And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's not something that artists should take personal, but they should understand that it's part of like that post sale process. And I use the word process because just like you learn how to make a rendering by saying, I have my starting scene with the HDRI that I know that always works, the sun settings that always work. That is a process, and it's a process that
mm,
it's designed to optimize how you make the image. You also need to have a process that it's optimized to get you the client and to bring back the client when it's needed. It's as simple as that.
absolutely. May I add one example also you
Sure.
talked about? Um, like a while ago, I posted a poll on LinkedIn. The poll was talking about I literally had a conversation with a client, and we do something called referral campaigns, okay, to generate referrals. And I told him one of the important pieces inside the referral campaign is what the client will get and what the one, I mean, the new client is also is getting. So yeah, like you make it win-win-win situation. It's not only for you are getting a project. And I told him, well, you have multiple options. You can either give 20% for both guys, okay, for the new projects, or give them $1,000 or euros with 1,000 euros, or give them one image for free, okay. And I told him, from my point of view, okay, the 1,000 is the best, but like it is my point of view. We need to hear what the client is looking for. I mean, it could happen that the 20% is more. However, the 1,000 is measurable. You see, when you say I'm getting 1,000, okay, I can buy a bicycle for my son. I can buy, I don't know, I can change the tires for my car. You see,
Mhm.
those are the things people, our clients, they think about. And I made this poll, and I was completely surprised. No one chose the 1,000. And the first option was, I mean, I listed the three options, and the last option was nothing. I just put it out of, like, I said, yeah, there is some people really do nothing. And I was surprised, like 43% of people who voted, they do nothing. And people who commented, like, they do literally nothing just to get for the referral. My friend, we are in a time, I mean, you need to really invest money and time and effort to keep the client. And even like you need to keep the client and also push them to refer you to others. It's not only the quality. So yeah, this is somehow back to your point when you said in 2020 or 21 that you asked, there is a guy who said, I mean, you helped him get the project for 20,000, right?
Uh,
And
I think that you refer to the guy that then it was my client that then gave the iPad away.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, for
So iPad,
Christmas.
absolutely. I mean, iPad, well, how much this cost? I mean, I don't know, 800, 900, 1,000. But like, you are now sure every time that the client is going to open the iPad, will remember your face. See? Yeah,
Now,
this is something really useful, but like very little are doing it.
you see, the thing is that in my case, I'm lucky because I'm from the south of Italy, and in the south of Italy, we have this is at the base of our culture that I do something for you and you do something for me, and some people really don't like that. And I also remember I got myself a little bit under, the storm of some people that say this is bribing, it's not the right thing to do, and I'm like, listen, I have had meetings with big companies where people are getting a lot of incentives. I knew a girl many years ago, 20 years ago, that got a brand new BMW for the work that
Wow.
she was doing. And we're talking about like back then, we're talking 20 years ago, it was 35,000 euros of a brand new car. But this woman was making a lot of business for this company. And
Hmm.
so, like, okay, people can have their own bias and their own understanding of what it's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. The bottom line is that at the end of the day, if you bring results and you find a way to do it, by incentivizing people to do certain things, if you're not stealing money from anybody, and if you are just helping people to see that if they do more,
Yeah.
they can get more, I don't think it's the wrong thing because it happens all the time. Now, maybe this is a way that doesn't really work in the Northern European countries because of cultural differences. But I can tell you, the people that got something, they were always happier than those who did not get anything. And, and
Absolutely.
and an important thing to remember is that in the case I do when I do referrals, when I try to give something back to the person that gave me the referral, say that it's a free image or a discount on the bill, I make sure that I tell them and communicate to them, look, this is something that I could do this time because you gave us a referral. So thank you very much for the referral. If you bring more referrals, I can try and do something else for you in the future. So that they remember that this is not something that they're gonna get forever from now on, but if they do something more, they keep getting it. And I still operate like this, and it works. The clients that do appreciate the free stuff, the free image, or 10% discount or 15% discount, they're like, okay, like this is worth it. This guy, we say in the south of Italy, knows how to live. It is what it is, like you do work, you give them a little incentive, and that's it. If people don't like that and they still struggle to get work, then probably you should reconsider your perception of what is right and wrong, because I can guarantee you, all the big companies that are doing stuff, they make their clients happy one way or another. It could be an incentive, it could be whatever. They do that.
To be honest, when I saw the results of the poll, I was happy because I knew my clients will get always new clients.
Yeah,
Cool.
I don't know. Sometimes I think it's not a question of like people being stupid or not being able to imagine certain things. Uh, it's also a question of like how much do you really want to do, the things that you're doing. Because to a certain extent, if you're really passionate and if you're really willing to make this work, you don't need to hear me saying this stuff or watch one of my videos. You'll figure it out on your own. Uh, and I found myself in this position right now, uh, trying to have to figure out new things for the business. So again, I think it comes down to the willingness of a single person to make the difference.
Like when I talked with someone, a new client, okay, a new artist, okay, I exactly from the first conversation I know this is going well or this is going bad. When we introduce a new idea or concept, I mean, depending on the situation or the client type, the size of the clients or the projects, someone is going to say, you know what, I'm not sure this is going to work. Well, could you tell me more about that? Okay, I need to look to the camera now. Yeah. Could you tell me more about that? What is exactly what you are not sure? Well, I saw, know what I read about that online sometimes a while ago. I don't really exactly know if this is working. Someone said in the comments it's not working. My friend, I really appreciate that you are always following the news. Did you try it? Yes. How did you try it? Tell me. And this is one guy, okay? The conversation takes like 2, 3 hours. And another guy is going to say, well, how much should we invest? Okay, when are we going to do it? Let's see the results. You see, I mean, a huge difference, you see. Um, yeah, that's somehow in our industry, it's a little bit slow, I would say. Yeah, I'm not going to say different words, but like it is a little bit like, yeah, they hate something called marketing or selling. Okay, although like everyone knows, like there is no business without marketing or selling. You see.
But I think the problem is the fact that we get told, even starting from the architecture school, it's never about selling, it's about the design. And you talk to professors, you talk to uh, other colleagues, other architects, and the architects, they will always say to you, no, it's because my designs are better, or it's because I have an approach that it's different. And I don't know, I have met very smart architects in my life, uh, and the takeaway that I got from the really smart ones is that you gotta sell, you gotta make it work, you gotta, there is a friend of mine, a very good friend I went to university with. His name is Chris Precht. He's a famous architect. And
Mhm.
he told me in the very first beginning of his career, he would, and there is a video of that, so, I'm not saying any secret.
No,
Um,
no,
and he was telling me how in the early days he pretended to have an office by playing YouTube noises of offices just to make people think that when he was having a Zoom call that there were other people working in the background, when actually he was, him and his wife, doing all the 2D drawings, all the renderings, um, and he was on his own and he was pretending to be busy. Maybe he was busy, but he was pretending to make it look like he was even more busy than he was, just because the idea was, I need to make people perceive that there is value in the work that we do. Maybe now looking back, it would be like, oh, that was stupid, I shouldn't have done that, or maybe it wasn't the honest thing to do, but it doesn't change the fact that one way or another it worked. And so it helped him in his uh, endeavor to open an architecture office. And so I'm not saying to people now, go and pretend that you have an office. But if there is something that you can do to raise the perception of the value of the work that you do, you should do it. You should do it. And you should not uh, capitalize on that, but you should do it in a way that when you get a project, then you can do a very good work and deliver the value that you're trying to communicate to your client. Um, I hope that this is clear, and I hope that people don't take it the wrong way. But
yeah, and
it's the internet; people will take it the wrong way.
you are talking about Chris. I mean, Chris, he is somehow for me. I mean, he is the father of marketing and architecture.
Yeah,
Okay, he's the best way you can take as an example how to market your designs, how
yeah,
to market your concepts. You see, one thing you have mentioned, which is like increasing the perception of the value you are bringing to the table. Um, many artists, they have websites or online portfolios. Okay, they don't have an image on the website showing who is behind that, just to leave the viewer perceiving that there are many people who are behind that. The thing is, how many people inside the office really matter. You see, I mean, we cannot hide it. It's if you are alone, you are alone. You cannot take a project for Zaha Hadid and you are alone. You see, I mean, it's somehow something you might be able to do that, but like you need to show why. Okay, so many of those people, they have optimized processes. Okay, and for example, I met one guy a couple of days ago. He is like even older than me in the industry, and he said, I can do the job of three. Amazing. Okay, you need to show that on the website. You need to say what does it mean to have three people, what does it mean to have you. I would like to go back to one thing you have said about. You mentioned now about our industry that the work is enough. So I can give you the root cause of that in our industry. On CG Architect, okay, there are some blog posts about business in Vagvis, okay, and those blog posts they were really beneficial at that time, even today. They were mainly a questionnaire or a survey of how those big studios are performing, how they get it, and about marketing or how to get jobs. Okay, I don't remember exactly the title. Um, most of big studios today, they said, or in between, they were mere. Okay, they said we do not market. Our image should sell our work. Okay, it is true only for them. I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't happen that you make great image, especially today with AI and all of that new stuff. That you just make a great image and you will find request for quotations are flooding in your email. You see what I mean? So there is a cause. I mean, yeah, it is true. Your quality is an entry level, but yeah, I mean, marketing is important.
So I think I feel that sometimes people, when they read this kind of stuff, they read it in an absolute way, meaning like
Absolutely. Yeah.
because Mir said that, because D box said that, then this is the absolute truth. But they take away a lot of the context that makes that information real. Mir is an example. When you talk about architectural visualization and you think of the best office in the world, you might automatically think of Mir, because Mir is to architecture visualization what Louis Vuitton or Goyard or Cartier is to fashion, right? Um, you can try and build a new brand based on new values of an ever changing society, but it will take you 30, 40 years for that image to be imprinted in the head of people. And another thing is that a company like Mir, the reality is that when they are going to stop doing things, even though they are the best right now, they will be forgotten in a way, because those processes that they have, they are attached to the people that are doing those processes. It's not because I want to be a fatalist about it, but like, um, who knows Hugh Ferris? Okay, this is the father of architecture visualization.
Mhm.
If you
Yeah.
mention it to any young architect,
Yeah,
or
that's why. Yeah.
people don't know his name, and that's not because he was not good. He was the best. It's just because that processes of doing things was attached only to that person. um, Again, people can interpret this information the way that they want. uh, what you need not to forget is that you are given a career of, say, 20, 30 years to do something. In that career, you need to make it work. And so, just by having good work, it's not going to be enough. You need to have processes for selling, you need to have processes for telling people, hey, do you remember me? You need to have processes of, like, okay, what if somebody doesn't pay you? What do? You need to have a lawyer in place, you need to have a system for billing. And look, you know, these are things that I don't even know because I've never been part of that conversation. And oftentimes, I would work with people that knew that kind of stuff because me as an artist, I did not want to deal with that. Uh, One of the reasons why, yeah, I did have my own office at one point, but I then had decided not to do that anymore because I did not want to deal with those processes. And maybe some artists will learn 3, 4, 5 years in their career. I also don't want to deal with that stuff. Maybe I'll go and work as a director in a company where I can use my skills and my
Mhm.
ability to make beautiful work, and I can help them whilst they help me getting paid at the end of the month. Do you understand what I mean?
Absolutely. That's completely true. Yeah.
Anis, I feel like I talk too much in this conversation between us. I hate that because I try to make
No,
these
no, no.
conversations about my guests, but I guess I am a guy that talks too much. Some people are right.
All is good. I mean, the thing is, this topic is a huge topic. I mean, I believe also um, we need to have more conversations about this topic. That's why I made something called the Business of Archviz Club. I mean, we just meet once every 2 weeks just to discuss the topics. Um, I'm grateful to have
Where do
people.
you do this?
I do it on Google Meet. Yeah,
Okay.
it's on LinkedIn. It is like a group on LinkedIn called Business of Archviz. Okay. I mean, it was on different platform. Then we moved to LinkedIn. Then I discovered that on LinkedIn, it's not really a great place to have a group there because you post something, no one really get any notification. You should like remember that on your own. Then I said, okay, let's send an email to those people. Then I discovered we cannot collect emails.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I'm looking into how to make it beneficial for everyone. And inside that group, like you will hear stories from people who really made it work. You see, some people say, you know what, I was in the US. I charge 100 for my first image, then I have the 500. And previously in last year, we were making a meeting every week. Okay. So for example, not always I'm talking, okay. I'm only the one who is collecting everyone. I leave it for everyone to speak. Like I had a client called Yulia Madsen. Okay, she was talking about mindset. Okay, for example, um, she talked about things really like if you don't have clients, it means in a way or another you are sick. You see, you don't have this good perception about yourself that you can reject to. I mean, you can project to others. And for example, if you know an artist called Matteo Ferrari, he talked once about the budget, how to bring the budget in the early conversation of the meeting. There is an artist called Maruf. He is talking about the survival mode, like when you are really low. How much? I mean, you lower your prices, you lower prices, like you don't really go up. You see, what is the reason? How to get out of that? All that. And inside that meeting, we talked about the budgeting, okay, how to determine the right price for that project, for example. Some meetings I talked about online outreach, how to reach out to people online, or how to, I mean, not a step by step guide, but like just an overview. Those are all topics that did not really come from me. People thought we need to talk about that. Let's do it. See, yeah, so in case you have an idea about making also something bi-weekly or monthly or even weekly, I think it's going to be really beneficial for all of us. Because the more we talk about that, I think the quicker we will improve the industry in as an overall industry. Because in case we don't improve, we will stay having people charging $50 for 3D rendering.
I know. I agree. I think it's the whole idea of us making these videos and also the conference in Vienna is to always show people that there is a better way of doing things. And like often we hear from people from third world countries, like with growing economies that say, look, my reality is so far from yours that I cannot even imagine going in that direction. And
Mhm.
when things like this happen, my intuition is to say to them, look, the first thing that you should do is not worry about archivists, but it's to figure out where you need to live, even if you don't work as archivist, even if you go and work as a waiter or as an Uber driver, until you can get yourself in the position where you say, okay, again, I have a little bit of money and I try to do it again and start again, because the context really is the most important thing, I would say. Like when you start out a business, you should not aim at become the best in. in the world, you should you should aim at becoming the best in your neighborhood, in your little town, in your little city, right? And then when you outgrow this, you can move to another place. But I do think that nowadays the expectations are not in line with what the reality of things is. You cannot people, they think, okay, I've heard the success story online and I want to do the same thing. Uh, it's not that easy.
Mhm.
And again, I don't say this because I want to patronize people. I just want to say, look, it will take time. So do start small. Um, Starting small doesn't mean that you don't appreciate yourself. It means that, you start with whatever it is that you have. Takes time, 3 4 months. You land your first client, you land the second one, you'll start saving some money. Maybe, I don't know, you're in a place where there isn't much going on, you decide to move to a bigger city, you try to keep working with the old clients whilst getting new ones, and it's step by step. And I don't know. I,
Yeah.
I I wish everybody, to be successful and to make it. Not everybody's going to do it. It's a reality that it's hard to accept for most of us. Everybody struggle. I also struggle. There are many things that I could bring on the table in terms of struggling and having difficulties. Do understand that everybody's journey is different, and that's it. Do what you love,
Absolutely.
doing it, and it'll take time, but eventually you'll get there.
Yeah, time is somehow one of the, I would say, the most underestimated factor in growing. I mean, if everyone can really grow in a couple of months, and this leads to another thing, the shiny objects. You see, I see an automation tool here. I'm going to send like 100,000 people messages on LinkedIn. I did it. I mean, I'm not saying that I am really that guy who did not read it. I did it myself. I also help my clients do it. But I mean, I discovered really like in our industry, we should be a little bit more human, especially when it comes to client acquisition online. See, we should be really more patient.
Patience is a superpower, I would say, nowadays.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Anis, let me ask you one thing, and this is going to be my last question because we've been going on for more than an hour already, believe it or not. Uh, what is the one book that you would recommend anybody to read when they're trying, to start something by themselves, even if it's not, directly related to design? What are some of the good lessons that you've learned in a
Mhm.
book that could help anybody getting started?
Yeah. I will recommend the book that got me into this completely. Okay. It is a book called The Rules of the Game. Okay. I keep this book just to remind myself with this. Okay. It is a book about men, how to reach out and get in touch with women. Okay. And it is like a game. And like the way how they explain it, for example, they will say, in case you are looking for real high status woman, you should be really high status. I mean, you cannot really reach out to a woman that spent 2 hours preparing herself to meet you, and you just woke up and I mean, you are now out of bed and you go to your appointment. It doesn't happen like this. And I applied all the steps there to get clients. It means if you are looking to a client that is really high status, you should be really also high status. Think about them, how they will perceive you, see? And this will encourage everyone to make more conversations. I mean, talk to others, talk to people, see how they perceive the thing. Um, if you talk to artists, you see that they have a very strong opinion about many things, even before listening to others. You see, I mean, it's very important to listen just to see how they think. I mean, it's not always that we are right or even wrong. I mean, we need to listen, see how they think about it, it could really move something in our head. It could really give us some insights to do something in our business or change the thinking. So I would recommend this book. Okay, and this is as a starting point for making more conversations. A second book for our industry, especially, is Blue Ocean Strategy.
Mm.
Blue Ocean Strategy is one of the things I always apply in with all Arcbis studios that I work with to differentiate themselves. If you do not differentiate yourself, you will be seen as everyone else. It's important, really. Why it's you, not others. You see, even if you are like 25 years experience in the industry, even if you are um, a great guy, or you are like you, or even if you have some followings, but like this means nothing for the others if you really don't have a very unique angle or point um, to get to the heart of the client. What
Anis,
would you
oh, myself, oh, I have a billion books that I would recommend. But again, this is probably a conversation that should be continued at a later stage, and maybe we can think of doing another video together in the future.
absolutely?
For now, I just want to thank you because we've been going on for a while now. Uh,
It felt
if
like a minute.
if people wants to find you, if people want to find you, where can they come?
LinkedIn, they can find me, Anees Alomar, or just Google businessofagvis.com.
I will leave all the links in the description so people can
Thank you.
click
Thank you
them
very much.
and come and see you. I'm gonna stop the recording, so don't go anywhere. Thanks a lot again for doing this. I want to thank
My
those who are
pleasure.
watching from home. Anis, don't go anywhere, so I'll stop the recording and I can say goodbye, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Fabio.